I recently bought this sweater, but I found it a bit boring, so I turned it into a jacket. And then I also made it shoulder free. In this video, I'll show you how I did it. Obviously, I need a longer zipper than the one that comes with the sweater, so I unripped the seam and took the zipper out. But I'm gonna keep this zipper because I can still use it for other projects. Next, I cut open the existing slit until the bottom of the sweater. I also cut the elastic cord, tied a knot into one end and secured it with a safety pin. Next, I cut off the collar, but I had to redo it later again and I had to make it a bit deeper because it looked a bit weird on my shoulders. And then I just used the zipper in the correct length. And to sew in the zipper professionally, I also unripped the hemline a bit at the bottom. And then I inserted the end of the zipper exactly there and pinned it in place. And then I pinned the whole length of the zipper to the sweater. And then I switched to my zipper foot and used a straight stitch to sew in the zipper. Next up, I folded the fabric edge of the zipper inwards and then I sewed on top of the fluffy fabric to put the zipper in place and to make it easier to unzip and zip the zipper. This was a bit tricky though because the fluffy fabric got in the way all the time, so I had to stop and then push the fluffy fabric to the side and then continue to sew. And then I did the same thing on the other side. Unfortunately, I forgot to film how I put both ends of the zipper together again to make it even on both sides, but I think you understand what I mean. And then I sewed the other end of the zipper into the sweater, and then I top stitched it again and obviously also paid attention to the fluff not getting in the way. Then I actually had to give it a little haircut because there was still too much fluff and I was scared that it would get into the zipper when I open or close my jacket. And because there was a lot of fluff on my desk, I had to vacuum. Next up, I ran the upper edge that I cut off earlier through my serger. To make this a bit more neat and professional again, I folded over this edge at the top of the zipper and also folded it a bit inwards and then pinned it in place, and then I sewed over it with a straight stitch. Then I folded the upper edge inwards and sewed it with a straight stitch. I didn't need an elastic stitch here because the whole material of the jacket was not elastic, so I didn't bother. And because I cut the elastic string earlier, I still had to secure both ends, so I put on this little kind of stopper and then I added a sling to the end, also added a knot. And then I actually also used a lighter to melt the ends a bit so that it wouldn't fray. Yeah, and then my new jacket that I made out of a sweater is already done. And I think it's super cool if you can take something that you maybe don't like that much anymore or even bought secondhand and turn it into something else. So I hope I inspired you and you will try something like this as well.